Developing news coming out as Iran has just threatened attacks on U.S. cities and Europe, says that war could erupt at any moment. And all of this unfolding today, August 18th, 2025, while President Donald Trump is in the middle of negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but let's take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. Coming out today, Iran sends an ominous warning to the United States. And like I said, threats that our missiles could hit your U.S. cities, a direct threat to the U.S. Iran issues a new war warning at any moment. You can see this coming out today, just a couple of hours ago. And take a look. Iran is down, but it is not out. And they are warning that they are saying new war could be on the way. No ceasefire. Khamenei military advisor warns war with Israel could restart at any time. They're saying war with Israel and threats of missiles hitting the United States and Europe. And like I said, this all happening while all across the headlines, we're hearing that Trump puts onus on Zelensky to end the conflict with Russia ahead of their meeting. And we're hearing that there are updates coming out today. You can see August 18th, 2025. So I'm going to get you caught up on the latest that is coming out here, as we're hearing that while Donald Trump is trying to take care of Russia and Ukraine, Iran is issuing out some pretty bold threats. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What is going to be around the corner for us? Are we going to be seeing war or peace? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now also, while you drop a war or a peace, take a second to hit that thumbs up like button for me. Help spread this out further across the YouTube platform so more people can get the latest updates. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest, put the articles on the screen, read right from them, show you the dates, the sources, hyperlink it in the description to hold myself accountable so that way you can know and rest assured that this is the latest. And like I said, if you appreciate that, hit that like button. Also, if this is your first time here and you are not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. I will keep you up to speed on everything that's going on so you know exactly what is taking place. Now, I am seeing war pouring into the comments. I'm seeing a couple people saying they think that we're going to have peace, but let me know your thoughts, war or peace, in the comments. Now, if you think that we are going to be seeing war around the corner, that we're heading that way, you're not alone. Global tensions have been rising everywhere. As I mentioned, Russia, Ukraine, Iran, North Korea, South Korea, China. And a lot of people are starting to wonder how to protect their savings. So I wanted to share with you guys, before we dive in, my friends over at Lear Capital. I'm introducing you to them because they have been doing business for over 25 years with billions in transactions, helping people invest in gold and silver, which is historically a strong hedge against inflation, market crashes, and global instability. And right now, Lear is offering up to $15,000 in free precious metals with any qualifying purchase. So when you give them a call, you're going to talk to a real person, not a robot, who can walk you through your options, answer your questions, help you make an informed decision. No obligation, no pressure, just free information. So to get started, go ahead and give them a call at the number on the screen, or you can go to learram.com. If you're even thinking about protecting your retirement savings right now with gold or silver, you're going to want to go ahead and start looking into that with them. Again, go to learram.com or call the number on the screen. Don't wait until the crisis to take action. Thank you to Lear making that available to us today. 1-800-411-2430 or go to learram.com. Now, let's go ahead and get to the latest articles. These are going to be linked in the description so you can see them for yourself. Iran sends ominous warning to the United States. And man, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Direct threats to the U.S., our cities, the boldness. Are we going to go to war? Let me know your thoughts. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now you can see it says an Iranian lawmaker has warned that the country's missiles, they can hit Europe and they could eventually target U.S. cities. The remarks come amid rising tensions between Tehran, Western governments, and Israel, with sanctions and military actions intensifying the standoff. Amir Hayat Mokharan told Iranian media on Sunday yesterday that Tehran has been developing long-range strike capabilities for 2 decades. He warns that the missiles, perhaps our next missile, will hit Washington directly. So make no mistake, direct threats to the United States. Newsweek has reached out to the State Department and Iran's foreign ministry for comments. Now, here's why it matters. The comments underline the heightened risk of a broader conflict as Iran openly discusses offensive capabilities against both European capitals and the United States. Western governments, they have been working to contain Tehran's nuclear program, while Israel and the U.S. have already carried out strikes designed to degrade Iran's military and nuclear infrastructure. The rhetoric adds urgency to ongoing debates over sanctions, nuclear oversight, and regional security. Here's what to know. Hayat Mokhtardan said Iran's missiles can already reach targets anywhere in Europe. Even now, all European countries are in our range. With our existing missiles, we can strike France, Germany, the UK, and all of the Western and European Europe, he said. Hayat added that Iranian naval vessels, they could move close enough to reduce the distance to U.S. cities such as Washington and New York from 10,000 kilometers or 6,200 miles away to roughly 2,000 kilometers or 1,240 miles, also placing them within striking range one day. Now, Hayat also talked about the prospect of renewed sanctions, dismissing European threats to activate the United Nations snapback mechanism, which would restore penalties suspended under the 2015 nuclear deal. France, Germany, the UK, they have warned Tehran that unless it fully cooperates with the International Atomic Energy Agency, or the IAEA, the measures could be reinstated later this month. Now, Hayat said that the sanctions, they have already reached their maximum effect since the U.S. left the nuclear deal under President Donald Trump in 2018. He said Iran has already endured the harshest measures possible, insisting that all possible sanctions have already been imposed on our country. Israeli and U.S. military action. Tensions spiked in June when Israel launched a surprise attack targeting Iran's nuclear and military infrastructure. The operation coincides with the sixth round of negotiations between Washington and Tehran. Among the casualties were Iran's chief of staff and several senior nuclear scientists. Within days, the U.S. launched airstrikes on 3 nuclear sites. Trump later said these obliterated Iran's nuclear program. Although the claim was contested by Iranian authorities, the coordinated strikes highlighted the willingness of both Israel and the United States to use military force alongside economic pressure to contain Iran. What people are saying. Now, Amir Hayat, perhaps our next missile hit will hit Washington directly. So again, the direct threat against the United States, our soil. We can target America from the sea. The Aerospace Force of the Revolutionary Guard has been working for 20 years on making it possible to strike America from Iranian ships. Even if we have not yet reached this technology, it remains within our grasp. So here's what happens next. With Iran asserting that its missiles can already reach Europe and may soon be able to target American cities from the sea, Western governments face mounting pressure to enforce sanctions and safeguard their security. The coming months will test whether diplomacy or confrontation will dominate the next phase of this crisis. And again, let me know your thoughts. What will be that next phase? Are we going to go to war with Iran, or are we going to see peace? Drop it in the comments, war or peace. And if you haven't done so yet, like I said, please take a second, hit that like button. I see we've got about 1,400 people with me live on the channel right now. If we can get the likes up to half of the room, that's 700 likes. If you haven't done so yet and you appreciate the live stream, please take a second, hit that like button for me. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this as well. Iran issues a new war warning, says that this could happen at any moment. Now, the article says Iran warned Monday today that a new conflict with Israel could erupt at any moment, signaling a dramatic escalation in tensions months after a deadly 12-day confrontation in June. Now, Yahya Rahim Safavi, senior military advisor to the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, emphasized the need for full preparedness, saying a new war with Israel could break out at any moment. We must be strong and prepared, according to Iranian media. Newsweek reached out to the Iran and Israeli foreign ministries for comments. Now, here's why it matters. Now, Savavi warning underscores the fragility of the ceasefire and the ongoing risk of renewed conflict. The June confrontations caused hundreds of deaths and thousands of injuries, with Israeli strikes hitting Iranian nuclear facilities and senior military command centers. The United States, coordinating with Israel, targeted 3 Iranian nuclear sites, while Iran retaliated with an attack on an American airbase and missile strikes against Israeli targets. The involvement of both nations highlighted the conflict's international reach and implications for regional stability and U.S. operations. So here's what to know. We are not in a ceasefire. We are in a stage of war. No protocol, regulation, or agreement has been written between us and the U.S. or Israel, said Safavi. Now, he stressed that Iran must be prepared for the worst-case scenario, emphasizing that the country's armed forces and government need to remain fully ready for any situation, highlighting the importance of military vigilance amid persistent regional tensions. His remarks stand in contrast to statements from Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, who told state television that he does not expect an Israeli attack in the near future, reflecting differing views within Iran's leadership on the likelihood of renewed conflict. As an international relations expert, I am not of the opinion that war will happen in the near future, he said. Now, Araghchi also suggested Israel aims to shape public perception by signaling the threat of war. Now, Israel's response. Meanwhile, Israeli Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir has issued a counter threat, asserting readiness to strike Iran again. Speaking at a military ceremony, he said, "We are ready to attack again when necessary," describing the June conflict as a preemptive war aimed at eliminating an existential threat before it becomes a real danger. Now, the 12-day war. The 12-day war began on June 13th, when Israel struck Iranian nuclear facilities and military command centers, killing several senior officers as well as nuclear scientists. Iran's health ministry reported 606 civilian deaths, 5,322 wounded, while Israel's officials said retaliatory strikes killed 31 and injured about 3,000. The U.S. entered the conflict on June 22nd, hitting nuclear sites in Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan. Iran responded by attacking the U.S.'s Al-Adid air base in Qatar before President Donald Trump declared a ceasefire on June 24th. So here's what people are saying. Senior military advisor to Iran's supreme leader, Yahya Rahim Safavi, we must be prepared for the worst-case scenario. There is no protocol between us and Israel and the United States. There is no ceasefire. A new war with Israel could break out at any moment. We must be strong and we must be prepared. Israel Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir, we are ready to attack again when necessary. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, as an international relations expert, I am not of the opinion that war will happen in the near future. The armed forces must always be prepared, and the government must be fully prepared for any possible situation. Being prepared is the most effective factor in preventing war. So here's what happens next. Even with a ceasefire in place, the possibility of renewed hostilities remains. Regional allies and the U.S. continue to monitor developments, while Iranian and Israeli leaders emphasize readiness, leaving the Middle East on high alert. So there you have it, you guys. And again, this all just coming out today, August 18th, 2025. This going on while President Donald Trump is in the middle of negotiations with Russia and Ukraine, trying to do a ceasefire there. But we're hearing right now things are escalating with the rhetoric of Iran calling for potential missile strikes on U.S. cities and in Europe and threatening for war at any moment with Israel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Man, I see people in the comments dropping in, is there going to be World War III? Somebody saying rapture in September. Somebody is saying this is fake. Somebody else is saying everyone just needs to relax. Someone else saying just nuke them. Let me know, do you think we're on the verge of World War III? If so, drop WW3 into the comments. Let me know your thoughts. And take a look at this. Coming out from the Times of Israel today, no ceasefire. Khamenei military advisor warns war with Israel could restart at any time. So right now, war threats directed towards Israel and to the United States, while we are seeing Donald Trump trying to come to a peace agreement with Russia and Ukraine. So let's go ahead and take a look at this coming out today. It says, a senior official in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said on Sunday yesterday that another war with Israel or the United States, it could begin at any time. We are not in a ceasefire. We are in a stage of war. There's no protocol, no regulation or agreement that has been written between us and the United States or Israel. Safavi said, the senior military advisor of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, told Iranian media, I think another war may happen. And after that, there may be no more wars, he added, according to a translation by Iran International. The Americans and the Zionists say that they create peace through power. Therefore, Iran must also become strong, because in the system of nature, the weak are trampled. Safavi said, we must strengthen our diplomatic media, missile, drone, and cyber offensive strategy. We, the military, do scenario planning. We see the worst case and we prepare a plan for it. So right now they are saying that they must strengthen all of these. There's potential for war, and they're saying against the Americans and the Zionists that claim peace through power. Now, in late July, Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi threatened to attack Israel and the United States in a more decisive manner if either of them targeted the Islamic Republic again. And I shared with you guys that interview that had come out as they made these threats to the United States. If there are concerns about the possible diversion of our nuclear program into non-peaceful purposes, the military option proved incapable. But a negotiated solution may work, Araghchi said. Now, after declaring an Israeli victory in July, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu threatened to renew attacks on Iran if the Islamic Republic continued to enrich uranium, saying that if anyone in Iran tries to rebuild the nuclear program, we will attack with the same determination, with the same intensity, to foil any attempts. Now, the 12-day conflict between Israel and Iran began on June 13th with a surprise Israeli attack. Israel said its sweeping assault on Iran's top military leaders, nuclear scientists, uranium-enriched sites, and ballistic missile programs was necessary to prevent the Islamic Republic from realizing its avowed plan to destroy the Jewish state. And as you know, they shout death to Israel, death to the United States. They call Israel the little Satan, the United States the big Satan. Iran has consistently denied seeking to acquire nuclear weapons. However, it enriched uranium to levels that have no peaceful application, obstructed international inspectors from checking its nuclear facilities, and expanded its ballistic missile capabilities. Israel said that Iran had recently taken steps toward weaponization. Now, I shared with you that interview where we saw Abbas Araghchi claim that there was no need for them to increase their uranium enrichment to nuclear weapons. It was just for the purposes of nuclear power, yet they were all the way up to 60%. And he said there was no need, and that's not what they were doing. Let me know. Can Iran be trusted? If so, put yes. If no, put no. Let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't done so yet, please take a second. Hit the like button while you drop yes and no. Can Iran be trusted? Now, Iran retaliated to Israel's strikes by launching over 500 ballistic missiles and around 1,100 drones at Israel. The attacks killed 31 people and wounded over 3,000 in Israel, according to health officials and hospitals. In all, there were 36 missile impacts and one drone strike in populated areas, causing damage to 2,305 homes, 240 buildings, along with 2 universities and a hospital, and leaving over 13,000 Israelis displaced. There you have it, you guys. And I'm seeing people put no in the comments. No, Iran cannot be trusted. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts right now. We're hearing that a lot of people are saying that is not the case. And especially as we're seeing today, August 18th, 2025, the reports coming out that there are direct threats of attacks against the United States on our soil to U.S. cities that are being issued by Iran today. While Donald Trump is busy with Russia and Ukraine, articles coming out like this, as I shared with you, Iran sends ominous warning to the U.S. Iran issues new war warnings, saying that this could launch at any moment. And they are saying that they have no ceasefire, no peace agreement with Israel or the United States at this time. So they are issuing these threats. And like I said, this taking place while we're waiting to see what is going to be unfolding with Donald Trump, Ukraine, and Russia. Now, in regards to that, we're going to be seeing what unfolds here. Let me know. Are we going to see war with Russia, Ukraine, the United States, or peace? Let me know your thoughts on that. I will keep you up to date on all of this, but a lot of developing news coming out today. August 18th, 2025. We saw over the weekend Donald Trump meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Today, we're hearing that he hosted Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, trying to come to a ceasefire. He's putting this onus on Zelensky to end the conflict. He's saying you could end it now if you'd like. But while this is happening, Iran issuing U.S. missile attack threats against the U.S., saying our next missile strike might be against Washington, D.C. on American soil. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but that is the latest, you guys. I will continue to keep you up to date on all of this so you know exactly what is taking place. I'll put it on the screen, read right from it, share with you the latest so you know exactly what is going on. And again, if you appreciate that, hit that like button. First time here, subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. And I'll keep you up to speed on everything. And thank you to today's video sponsor. If you've been thinking about investing in gold or silver, check out my friends over at Lear Capital. They are great. You're going to want to give them a call. Free information, no obligation with Lear Capital. But that's it, you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. I'll catch you in the next one. This is Steve.